Welcome to the Dan Sports Tips Barclays Premier League Daily Fantasy Show for today, Saturday the 20th of August. I'm going to be taking a look at everything we need for the daily fantasy games on DraftKings for the Premier League today. I will be looking at goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders and forwards. Obviously the goal is to create a roster of one goalkeeper, two defenders, two midfielders, two forwards and a utility player using our $50,000 budget. Points are scored like this. For anyone who hasn't had the opportunity to sign up and play Daily Fantasy Sports with DraftKings yet, I will pop a link in the description for this video that will enable you to do that today. Looking at goalkeepers today, I think the man I'm going to be choosing is Lucas Fabianski of Swansea for $5,000. Swansea faced Burnley in their opening fixture of the season. Fabianski had an excellent game, recording full bonus points, getting 5 for the win and 5 for the clean sheet as Swansea nicked that game 1-0. He recorded 6 saves throughout that game as well. Now they face Hull, who triumphed against champions Leicester in their first game. I have to be completely honest, I will be shocked if both Hull and Swansea are able to continue that level of performance. But Fabianski does look a really solid player today. There are clean sheet chances available, as newly promoted sides can often struggle to convert chances. And Swansea will be keen to make it 2 from 2 at home in what is likely to be quite a competitive game, presenting save chances on occasion for the Swansea stopper as well. I see him as the goalkeeper with certainly the most potential upside today. At defence, Kyle Walker of Tottenham for $5,300 is an ideal player for this format. He has clean sheet potential as part of a Spurs defence that was the best in the Premier League last year, though the injury to Hugo Lloris in goal is a downgrade for those chances. But Spurs do love the fullbacks to go forward out wide and support the attacking play. Both Walker and his teammate Danny Rose for $5,700 will have the opportunity to rack up points and assists and crosses, as well as normal defensive duties with tackles, which they should get today, as they're going to have their hands full defensively with a pair of tricky Palace wingers in Zaha and Townsend, who will be lively down the flanks. Walker scored for an assist in week 1 as well, and both players did combine double-digit points, which is all you can look for defensively. Hector Bellerin of Arsenal for $4,600 showed last season what he can do to add to attacking moves, supporting wide with a lot of pace. He was quiet in the opening game against Liverpool, and while a clean sheet is nice against Leicester, with a shaky-looking unit in the centre of defence with Mertesacker or Gabriel playing, you can't count on that. But Arsenal will certainly not sit back in this game. The removal of Kante after his transfer to Chelsea should give more space for attacking movement, which will favour Arsenal. Bellerin will be able to contribute with crosses and potentially assists as well out wide. And he's going to have to deal with danger out on the flanks when Leicester are on the front foot as well, giving him multiple ways to score points today. Andrew Robertson of Hull for $4,000 is probably the best fullback in the Premier League that you don't know much about. Robertson is your prototype attacking fullback. He's cheap because he plays for Hull. A clean sheet would be no shock for Hull against Swansea in what is likely to be a fairly well contested game. Robertson offers very solid value on top of his performance against Leicester, where he put 3 crosses in the box on his way to 7.3 points, which at this price is a reasonable haul, and it does enable you to pay more money in midfield and up top. And the final defender is Kyle Norton of Swansea for $3,500. He's another fullback in the game between Hull and Swansea, who likes to get down the flank and attack when his team are on the offensive. It could be a low scoring game, but I anticipate it being fairly even and well contested, and the points your defenders can get for forays into the opposition half, providing crosses into the box, do provide you with a heck of a lot of value in this game. In the midfield, Eden Hazard of Chelsea for $7,800 can be deployed as a midfielder or a forward player, and as a Watford fan it does pain me to include him in this today, but he looks central to the setup of the Chelsea side under Conte in their opening fixture. He also has the bonus of being involved at set pieces. Watford did manage to gain a scoreless draw at home with Chelsea last year, though both managers have been replaced since that game. Hazard was ineffective all of last year, looked rejuvenated over the summer at the Euros, and if he returns to form levels of the season prior to last year, where he was the best player in the Premier League, he's not going to be available at $7,800 for long. I would expect Chelsea to have the lion's share of possession in this game, as Watford will look to keep it tight and nick one on the break here, so that will certainly give Hazard plenty of chances to score some points in the game. Roberto Firmino of Liverpool for $7,200 also qualifies in midfield and up front, so you do have your option to use him as a forward. He is priced in the mid sort of range midfield bracket. Firmino played a solid enough part of Liverpool's victory in their opening game against Arsenal. While it has to be said Liverpool cannot defend, Klopp certainly appears to have instilled his attacking philosophy into this team. They did look very good going forward. Firmino will play a large part in what Liverpool do in the final third against Burnley, in a game that Liverpool should certainly dominate, and there'll be plenty of opportunity for crosses and shots for the wide man, who will be, I would imagine, racking up plenty of points today, as will teammate Philippe Coutinho for 7,400. I think this is a cracking price. While Burnley were incredibly solid defensively last season in the Championship, the Premier League is a different level, as they're about to find out today. They struggled to defeat in their opening game against Swansea, who I also think are going to struggle, so that's not a very good barometer for Sean Dyche's men. Burnley will have to defend, as they're over-reliant on Andre Gray for goals. Coutinho ran the show against Arsenal for Liverpool, scored twice, amassing 29 fantasy points. While that haul is unlikely to be matched in this game, this is a game, as I say, that Liverpool are going to dominate possession. There'll be plenty of opportunity for crosses. You'd imagine assists and goals will be there as well. Coutinho is heavily involved in set pieces for the Red Men of Liverpool as well. Robert Snodgrass of Hull for 6,300, scorer of one of Hull's goals in their opening day upset win against champions Leicester, is a key part of what they do going forward. He's heavily involved at set pieces, which is always a plus in this game. He will provide support for the strikers from out wide. He scores points from crosses and cutting inside and shooting as well. In a game against Swansea, who've lost a lot of pre-season, including their captain and talismanic centre-back Ashley Williams, look for Hull to have at least some success in this game, and Snodgrass, I think, offers great value at a price of just 6,300, and Santi Cazorla of Arsenal for 7,000. If the effect Cazorla had on the game when coming on as a substitute against Liverpool does not earn him a start against Leicester today, nothing will. Cazorla provided the assist on both goals that Arsenal scored in their comeback attempt after he joined proceedings. He's a useful set-piece taker if they decide to use his abilities. They obviously do have a number of set-piece specialists in the Arsenal side. Add his 5 crosses into the mix, he scored almost 20 points in half an hour's work in that game. Now, he's not going to get 60 points if he plays a full game, obviously, but he clearly merits inclusion in your lineup. I would use him in the utility spot though, because with this game being a later kickoff than the rest of the games, that will give you a lot more flexibility if Wenger doesn't include him in the starting 11 to being able to switch in a different player. And up top today, I'll take Jamie Vardy of Leicester. Vardy last year obviously had the great season as Leicester won the league. In one of the transfer sagas of the summer, he ended up rejecting Arsenal to stay with the champions. Now in the opening home game of the title defence, Leicester welcome Arsenal and Vardy into town. He disappointed in the opening day defeat. He will look to take a shot at an Arsenal backline that looked very, very poor against Liverpool and highlighted the need at a centre-back for Wenger. Vardy still has class and will certainly be determined to find the net early on in this season, and I think he's got a good chance of doing so in the game today. And for 9,400, I think he's reasonably priced as well. Andre Gray of Burnley for 7,400. Gray did top score in the Championship last year, and as I said, Burnley are over-reliant on him to convert the chances. As a whole last season, Burnley didn't take anything like as many shots as you would expect from a team that was promoted. That proves the class they've got up top, if not maybe a little bit of luck as well. They should get some chances against the Liverpool backline that was equally unimpressive against Arsenal. Gray is the likeliest man to capitalise at any time for Burnley this year and take one of the few opportunities that they'll probably create in a game that Liverpool should dominate possession. I think Gray for 7,400 is worth a upside punt. Probably not as much as Fernando Llorente of Swansea for 7,000. Llorente played the target man role really well for Swansea as they won away at Burnley in their opening game. He now tries to do the same against Hull, who accompanied Burnley on the journey from the Championship last year. Swansea have lost a lot, but they do have some quality that can deliver a set piece, and Llorente can use his strength in the air to either direct that ball into the back of the net or provide an assist for a teammate. Heaton in goal for Burnley is a good keeper, but I think Llorente's got a lot of upside for 7,000, and going with Hull as well, Abel Hernandez for 6,500. He was close behind Andre Gray in the scoring charts in the Championship last year. He certainly looked a handful for the champions Leicester on opening day. He assisted 1 goal and a match-up with Swansea, who, as I say, are missing talismanic centre-back Ashley Williams, who's now wearing an Everton strip. Hernandez could well be a value play at 6,500. Those are the players I've got for you today. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen in the Premier League today, which players you'll be looking to use in your lineups at DraftKings. As I say, I will put a link in the description of this video that will enable you to sign up and join the games today on DraftKings. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter at dansports.tips, and I'll be back next week. See you later.